is February 22nd, 2026. Unreal. Unreal. These people, there's not enough dirty words in the book to call these people. You want to get like Tourette's and just repeatedly swear at them. I mean, seriously. They're so retarded, it's not even funny. And they think they're funny, and they're just a bunch of drug addicts. Playing with you. Bunch of drug addicts. You know, I went to walk in LensCrafter today, and some ladies were off in the distance talking about that church. Yeah. Saying anything about me that they would hire anybody to hurt me. It's a federal crime. Everything they did is federal crimes. There is no excuse in the world. None. They were not arrested the first day. And life in federal. Some lady investigators a couple years ago said that minister should have died in prison for bringing those people here. He should have. The rest of them should too. The rest of their lives in federal prison so society is safe. And then I go in LensCrafter. Some girls are in there. They're talking. We listen to her. Her worst thing she did before this, all this, the worst thing she ever did was cut her hair. Use some box hair color for a necklace and a bracelet. They didn't even talk dirty. They didn't watch dirty shows. She wore skirts, and she didn't even wear sleeveless shirts. Someone like that would never hurt anyone. She only did that other stuff to make her feel good about herself, just little things. I know. And I didn't believe they would put you in hell. A little bracelet, a little necklace, trimming my hair, and putting color in it so I didn't have gray. I didn't think little vanity things would put you in hell. Okay? And then, of course, there's someone for Bill from the Freemason Henry Maffei scam about the shower scene in the other room. They already confessed years ago. Years ago. Made fun of FBI agent John for falling for all this years ago. Made fun of everyone for falling for this years ago. They even documented and verified last year. It wasn't even me, the shower scene in the other room. It was some other lady, and they put my head on her body. They admitted they used hypnotic drugs when they drugged me and told me to say it before. They even admitted about the dirty doctor not being one of mine, works for them, and they lied. Of course, they lied at SIPA. These people don't know one law. Not one law. So, of course, they mentioned Melissa. They better be lying on her. Officer Mark wrote it up that her and the kids were just showing off for Dave and his girlfriend, the drug addict girl and her drug dealing boyfriend, her drug dealer father and his drug dealer friends. Yeah, the little Christians were showing off for a drug addict. That's pathetic. Pathetic. Okay? Okay? She already confessed April 6, 25. I heard Dixie and John talking how Melissa was part of the people that hired those people that did all this to me. She wasn't just showing off, she was an accessory. She does need arrested. And I feel bad for her, but these people raped and tortured me. They crushed my skull in. My son and her just broke up for the last time. And they filed for divorce, and she can't be in it with my ex-husband, his drug addict girlfriend, and her drug dealer father, and his drug dealing friends running a scam on me. Go to jail for them. And those people admitted to selling kitty porn of my grandkids' going potty. that they were drugging me up and telling me to say that, photoshopped a shower scene in the other room. July 25th, 25. That it is a shower scene, but it's not even me. Some other lady showering. Put in another room. And these people are so dumb. They're so retarded. I hate crackheads. They think they're funny and they're not. That I have witnesses from Dave. I have Jen. The police even taped Daniel. On the 4th of July, they were an hour late. We had already ate. They came in, they sat down on the couch. I took a picture of everybody on the couch. Made their plates. They took 2 bites and yelled pillow fights and ran to the basement. I threw the food in the refrigerator. I walked outside with Danny and Jen. I mean, not Danny and Jen, but Jen and I sat on the front porch. Dave, Gabe, Noah were playing catch right in front of us. Gabe's riding around on the lawnmower. Could hear the giggling and screaming from the basement. Okay, we had a split level, so it was a family room, full bathroom, puppies down there, laundry room. Had a TV. They were only there about 40 minutes. We got too warm because it's the 4th. We went inside. Went to dish up some dessert. Went to sit down. We didn't even get all the way sat down. Dave came in. John left through the basement. It's like he didn't say goodbye. He said, well, he's only stopping in for the kids to see the house. That's it. He's got a lot of places to go today. It's the 4th. Okay, they never came upstairs. These people are so retarded. And they think they're funny that they photoshopped those kids being peeking Toms, looking in a crack in a bathroom door. They go to jail for that. Anywhere from 6 months to 2 years. And you're supposed to be weird with yourself? That's disgusting. I'm never weird with myself. That's gross. And then you gotta think, you're in there, you're wiping your behind. You could be douching, you could be putting yeast infection cream on. You're taking care of your personal area. Some pervert has no right to peek in at you while you're going to the bathroom through a crack. Like they said, they didn't even think they'd get those kids arrested for photoshopping something like that. I know. You don't get money for photoshopping them being perverts. And then I want you to think of their ages. They're like 5 to 8. Is that even in their vocabulary? No, they're very, barely potty trained, and you're lucky they don't have accidents no more. We didn't talk dirty. Dave always laughed we had a rated G house. We were supposed to be Christians. You know, we watched shows like Monk, Psych, Walker, Texas Ranger, Murder, She Wrote. Watch movies like Father of the Bride 2 and 1. We used to watch this one ongoing show, When the Heart Calls. It's like a bad drama of 1980 or 1800s of this like Little House on the Prairie kind of thing. Basically the same, you know what I mean? Rated G. We had little ones running around our house. We were supposed to be Christians. And with being, even though you're not going to that church, with being part of one for years, habits and being comfortable, get used to wearing skirts. I didn't even wear pants back then. Because that religion, you didn't wear sleeveless shirts. Had to be like 2 inches off the top of your shoulder. Didn't show cleavage. You learn to be very modest. It becomes part of you. And I didn't think trimming my hair, little $7 box hair dye, a little pretty necklace and a bracelet would put me in hell. Little vanity things. I used to laugh until chocolate, coffee, and Diet Coke became illegal. I'm good. I didn't swear. We didn't smoke. We didn't drink. In 2007, I was working a lot of different places. It was very stressful. I smoked for about 6 months. Then I quit. Then I hadn't smoked since I was 15 when I tried it. Smoked for about a couple months then. We didn't smoke. We didn't drink. We didn't swear. We didn't sit. We didn't talk dirty. And you know what something as dirty as these filthy people are? We didn't sit around people that talk like this. We would have left. Now you're taking somebody who finds this behavior repulsive, and then where that old man, the first month of the case, in front of the police and vets, came up for every idle word you telling us, I'll turn on you. Try to leave, Dave, I'll list you a child molester. And he's like, you know that bruise on your leg? It's a lemon-sized bruise I woke up with throwing up again. The acid drugged me up in my sleep. That he used sodium pentothal to tell me to wear, I was supposed to have been wearing this one nightgown, bent over, and probably once accidentally seen your butt in a life of pain. And then threatened me again. What did he admit to? He worked for Dave. He was drugging me up and telling me to say lies. I had Dave debunk it. I was dressed modestly and then was seeing the back of my knees. But that was their whole plan. Just run around lying to everyone. Just run around lying. And then you got to think their fake dirty doctor or that agent was laughing at me. Well, we could always use Pete's tape of weird with yourself. I said, what are you talking about? And I hadn't seen my brother in years. And that was only Pete I knew. See, I didn't know about the drug dealer Pete. David hired to Photoshop that. I didn't know there was body cameras. I didn't know anything. They had me so drugged up there. I thought the dirty well water was giving me cancer. I had swollen personal infection, throwing up, heart racing, severe bruising, going to the doctor all the time. What on earth is wrong with me? I thought I was dying. And I thought the well water was toxic. I kept telling the doctor that. And nobody thought of a rapist. It was their whole scam. And where I said, what are you talking about? And he said something else again. I have no clue what he's talking about. He's talking about some drug dealer Dave hired to run a con on me. Then he said, I bet you're going to say you don't know about this doctor. And he said, some psychiatrist for a sexual disorder or wanting your brother. I went, what are you talking about? I don't know who you're talking about. And I don't know what you're talking about. And I almost said, why don't you stop lying? And he's cackling like a jackass. And then I thought, I wonder if the other lady that used my insurance, maybe it was one of her doctors. Just a con. I've never seen a psychiatrist for a sexual disorder. That's disgusting. And I never wanted my brother. That's disgusting. I don't think Dave's drug addict girlfriend and her drug dealer father is funny. And then run around lying to everyone. Pulling a big con. And see, that's where you do realize where December 1st, 25, the pretty Michelle with the long blonde hair, not the drug dealer, not the drug addict Michelle with the short blonde hair, and Henry Mavi, her father, and her drug friend. They said the guy that drugged me up for Dave, telling me to say lies, was the other guy you hired. that December 1st, 25, the pretty Michelle that told on him on March 27, 25, that the doctor from before was not one of mine, works for them, and they had lied. Of course they lied at SIPA. And it's disgusting. And Agent John should have shot them all. I'll tell you what, they would have tried this on an ICE agent, they would have shot him. They shoot everybody. March 27, 25, the pretty Michelle with the long blonde hair, I guess was dating an agent on a Rouge, and she had told him the doctor from before was not one of mine, works for them, and they had lied. She doesn't know who he is. I doubt he's a doctor. I bet it's another drug dealer. Because a real doctor would know they go to jail. And that when they bashed in my head, they tried to leave me incompetent, and it didn't work. Or try to kill me. And he got my ex-husband that a girlfriend from before me made him marry me so that he could get a job at my dad's factory, and she'd have free insurance to use, and he could give her money. My whole marriage was a scam. I had chest pains for days. And he got it out of that family. Why on earth would you say it offended you that Minister calling her a faker 6 months after a traffic accident she had nothing to do with? They said didn't even concern him. Lisa's dad had killed her father. They just lied so people would help out. Okay. Well, then they started threatening Michelle and leaving threats on her. Instead of cowering to these bastards, she went badass. You go, girl. And she told on all of them. December 1st, 25, Walmart 62. Investigator came in, Michelle, came to my office and told me that these people confessed this whole thing was a scam to extort money from the government. And her ex-husband was involved. And that the doctor from before was not one of mine, works for them. And she doesn't even know who he is. And they had lied. He was one of her doctors. Okay? And they admitted to using hypnotic drugs on her when they drugged her and told her to say it before. Photoshop that, tape a weird with yourself. It's a shower scene in the other room. And that guy Pete that's running his mouth on her, it's just some guy Dave hired on his own too. She don't even know who he is. Whole thing's just a scam to extort money from the government. November 23rd, 25, Macy's Summit Mall downstairs. Girls are talking how they needed someone to run a scam on to extort money from the government. They were already connected to my ex-husband, and they asked him if they could do it to me, and he said yes if they made sure he got everything during the divorce. The whole thing was just a scam to extort money from the government. So, people, do I ever want to hear your pathetic, retarded mouth again? That, oh, Melissa's attorney. Melissa don't have an attorney. It's another drug dealer. She don't have one. Nobody ever got hurt. There's no police investigation, no pictures of injuries, no documented medical proof. So nobody got hurt. They were mean jokes. She don't have one. It's a lie. I had a dog bite last year. They said for me to have a case, I had to prove I was injured. You can't prove you're injured. You have nothing. She said, did you take pictures of the injuries? Yes. Did you go to the hospital and they verified the pictures of the injuries are the same as the ones you had? Yes. Did you do a police report? There has to be a police investigation. Yes. Because it was a dog bite, I had to have a dog warden's report too. You don't have that, you have nothing. And then, on top of it, I said, well, I have a witness. Oh, you can pay witnesses off. Witnesses don't mean nothing. You have to have physical proof the person or the animal did it. Hmm? And I had to have the coat where the dog bit through into my arm, left his teeth marks, and I had the dog's DNA on my coat. Now you have a case. Get the idea? Now you have a case. You don't have all that, you have nothing. She doesn't have an attorney. She has no case. It's another drug dealer. Lying to people to pull a con. She got caught by the police and the FBI. The people that work for the drug lord said that Melissa was going to try to help them get away with it. She was going to have the kids lie. Okay? And on Thanksgiving, and she got, tell you what, the police and vets followed her around. Got her tape telling the kids to lie. And then on Thanksgiving of 18, in a legally booked house, that they made everything up. They were games of pretend. They wanted the house for that drug addict girl, Auntie Shaw. And they told other people, they told Flora they were making everything up. They were games of pretend. That's why Flora laughed about it October 23rd, 2019. Of course, it never happened. Of course, it wasn't true. We made it up. They were games of pretend. Even on North Chapel Street in Louisville, the apartment building for me, second closest to the fence, there was a lady and little girls out there talking about them drugging me up and telling me to say stuff. And that was in 21. And they were laughing. They told them they were lying. They told everybody they were lying. And they taped them saying they were lying. And these people sold the login to the case. The first month of the case, no light later than the second. Those people that said they worked for the drug lord walked around me. Will found another way of making money off the case. He's selling the login for $25 a pop. And went viral. At the first of the case, people knew more than I did. You know how many people had it? Teenagers, big hip. Little kids had it. Older people, truck drivers, nurses, doctors, teachers. In 19, I went through Kentucky into Illinois. People had it in other states. 21, I left state, went through Pennsylvania and Virginia. They had it in other states, people in gas stations. It's on the web. M13 is live streaming protected custody cases. Mine was sold in 18. The whole thing. People would come up in May of 19, April, May of 19. I went for an interview. The lady doing the interview looked over at me and went, Karen, if you didn't hear John's kids right on the third step up, David's girlfriend isn't Shell, it's Michelle. The short-haired blonde girl at the Family Church, saying she was retired Judge Pete's daughter, then Agent Will's daughter. And she's Henry Moffey's daughter, the drug dealer pulling the big con. The bill from the Freemasons, big scam. He's a retired Judge Pete, friends with Ludick. He's just a con man. Dave's ex-drug addict girlfriend and her drug dealer father pulling a con. And you know what one of these people would run around saying, which is so stupid. An agent told Apostolic Church of Barberton that he knew I was being drug beat and raped and didn't care. The case started. The investigator said after I called on the hotline, they immediately walked into an FBI office and confessed they were legally monitoring me. See, that's where Strange hated the government. Absolutely hated the government. Government's evil. You have to bury your guns in the backyard. They'll come get them. They'll brainwash your kids. You'll be lucky they don't take your kids away. Hated the government. So running a con and stealing money from him had been a big high for that occult leader. Okay? So They they walked in with their scam and tried to scam the FBI with stocking tapes of photoshopping and washing, fake sodium pentothal reports, drugged and told to say stuff in their stocking tapes, and a fake dirty doctor breaking federal HIPAA violations like an agent would fall for that. I talked to police, no law enforcement would fall for that. It's so illegal as Twilight Zone. Twilight Zone. So, he goes up and he tells more people. And then on a recorded line, makes fun of me, bullies me, all kinds of stuff, acts like a crazy occult person. Then these people now start selling the login. Then I can go in different towns, I can go in different states, they have it. So, does it matter if I say anything? It's already out on the web. Okay? And people have admitted that that church is sending out emails with a login. Well, first they were selling it, and then they're just giving it away to live stream it. So, if they're live streaming everything, and people see and hear what I do, and people know more what's going on than I do, does it matter if I say anything? No, not a damn thing. One of their scams were, oh, they're getting even with her because she said something. Bullshit. It is illegal for an FBI agent trying to silence a victim or an informant. These people know when it happens. And people know more things than I do. You know why they try to keep you quiet? So the con men can get away with the con. And the victim sits there and is too afraid to open their mouth. They don't want you to speak. They don't want you to tell the truth. They don't want them to tell about the medication error, the medical malpractice, and that it was fraud and it's documented fraud. They don't want you to tell that you never seen or talked to anybody, never had anybody in your home. And some ass you've never met is lying you're having an affair on them. People are drugging you up and telling you to say stuff and you think it's a dirty well water and that you know nothing what was going on. You thought you were getting cancer, and here these idiots are lacing drinks, stabbing you with hypnotic drugs and drugging you up and telling you to say stuff. They laughed they were even stabbing me in the hallway as I walked by. They erased people out of the room, photoshopped everything, ran this big con. You know why they want me to stay quiet? Because they don't want me to tell on them, like my friend from the prosecutor's office. Big fraud scheme. They don't want you to tell the truth. Because if you don't tell on them, they get away with it. They don't want you to tell that you've never seen a psychiatrist for a sexual disorder and you find it disgusting. And you definitely never wanted your brother that sick. And these people are crazy and all they're doing is lying and it's a big con. They don't want you to tell it's a con. They don't want you to tell that people were caught lying by the police and the FBI when everybody knows. I was up in Summit Mall now on January 1926 when that Henry Moffey got mad and he came in and confessed because I was joking around with Carl in the car. He was so angry. He came in and confessed. I'm in there. We're on the way up there. We've lived through a lot. And I said, they need to realize they can't touch me. I am in government immunity. For working this FBI case, they can kiss my government immunity, government informant, or government immunity, government protected informant ass. They can kiss FBI agent John's ass they made a fool out of. The FBI's ass that created it, and the judge's ass that signed it. And they can kiss the U.S. Constitutional's ass too. And they need to realize they can't touch me. And Josh used to dance around to MC Hammer, you can't touch us. I turn it on, boom, boom, in the car. Joking around, laughing. Pissed him off so bad he came in and confessed. Everything was him. A scrawny drug dealer. that he had never met me in person. It's all him. It's his family's debt to the drug dealers. He's the one for Raymond Ludick. He's the one everything. The con is his, where it's Bill from the Freemasons' big scam. That guy, Will, that was to pull a scam off here. Then you think of the short-haired blonde girl at Faith Family Church breaking how she could have people harmed, and the law can't stop them. They're just drug dealers. And some crackhead kid thinking that it's funny to harm people and want to con them. And they thought our government was so stupid they would hand them money. Not even on a good day. They just wanted me to stay quiet. And see, all law enforcement knows that they sold the login. See, that's where a couple years ago, up in North Canton, some kids were talking. The police told us, even if you won't admit it, we know you have the login. How would you like to be her? You need to start putting yourself in her shoes. You never see or talk to anybody, and some predator sets up body cameras, stalking you, tapes you in the shower, washing, and photoshops that in his stocking tapes in another room, and has somebody break in and stab you with a date rape drug you up until you say something stupid, and then set a hate crime off on you. How would you like to be her? See, that's where they announced they sold the login, and then people around me, if in children as low as 5-year-olds, other teenagers 2 years ago, almost 3, were calling that Will guy a child molester. We all know they raped her, and it's wrong. And them selling that videos of her being raped to small children, that makes that Will guy a child molester. I thought, honey, you're under 18. It makes him a child molester for giving it to you. Selling pornography to children. See, that's where April 28th, 24, Walmart on the Strip, where that guy comes in. I listened to the recorded line. That agent did talk to her like that. And he did admit to telling on her, they better take care of this and do something about it. Well, officer in uniform shows up, FBI case. So listening to this today, we all know nobody drugs anybody but the drug cartel. It was a drug cartel in your home before. It was 2 drug dealers and their friends. Get the idea who was in my home? 2 drug dealers and their friends. And we all know that guy told on you before, Karen. I want to know how he heard it. The cops all know the login to the FBI case was sold. And they know M13 is live streaming protected custody cases. So why wouldn't I say anything? Because they get away with their con. You stand up to bullies. If the only thing you can do is stand there and tell the truth, then you stand there and you speak out. My father taught me that when I was little. If the only thing you can do is stand and use your words to stand up for what's right, then you stand. Now I'm going to upload this. I'm tired of Henry Moffey, his drug addict daughter, trying to pay off their drug debt to drug dealers. And people helping out and thinking it's funny. And people calling me a dirty word. See, they thought if they called me a dirty word and trick society, they could trick somebody into killing me. Do the Charles Manson. You know, Dave Bragdon, 18, that he was going to have people hang me. And they talked about getting lynch parties, 18 and 19. And then in middle summer of 19, they talked about getting people together to beat me to death. They thought if they lied to society, they could get someone to kill me for them. Charles Manson, death by proxy. January 1926 in the mall, they released Thanksgiving of 18. where those kids, where January 12th, 22, Officer John stopped them at the door, where those kids kept stating they made everything up. People were in there talking. They released Thanksgiving of 18. Those kids did say they made everything up. And her son, John, said he didn't know what was going on. And he defended her to the max. No one could say anything bad about her. I know. See, they thought they could run around lying on everyone and do the separate and destroy. John asked me to be a reliable name on a court record to watch Kenzie Carrington and Noah 2 years later. Within 2 years. That he needed a reliable name to pick him up from school. I was working 2 jobs. I didn't get off the first one, let alone the second one. And he kept pleading with me, and I felt terrible, but I couldn't afford my apartment. I barely made enough money to survive. So I had to turn him down, and I felt horrible, but there was nothing else I could do. I mean, one job I think I only made $12 an hour. I think the other one I made $10. I made very little. I'm going to go ahead and upload this.